students, welcome to the next chapter number 4, integration. Okay, in second semester we had completed first unit. In first unit we had completed function, then derivative and application of derivative. Now today we are going to start second unit. Second unit is integral calculus. In this unit there is only one chapter number 4, integration. So let's start with integration. So learning outcomes. After watching this video, student, you will be able to define integration as antiderivative. You will be able to recite standard integrals. You will be able to apply rules of integrals, and you will be able to find integrals of composite integrals. Student, you also will be able to understand various methods of integration. So let's start with introduction. So integral calculus, which is a branch of calculus concerned with the theory and application of integrals, while differential calculus focus on rates of change such as slopes of tangent lines and velocities, integral calculus deals with total size or value such as length, areas and volumes. The two branches are connected by the fundamental theorem of calculus, which shows how a definite integral is calculated by using its antiderivative, which means a function whose rate of change or derivative equals the function being integrated. For example, integrating a velocity function yields a distance function, which enables the distance travelled by an object over an interval of time to be calculated. As a result, much of integral calculus deals with the derivation of formulas for finding antiderivatives. The great utility of the subject emanates from its use in solving differential equations. So let's start. So here comes indefinite integrals. So indefinite integral is a traditional notation for antiderivatives. This integral is denoted by this symbol. Okay, this symbol is used to denote the integral. So integral fx dx, that is suppose, is equal to fx. Okay, so that means derivative of this f dash x is equal to f of x. Okay, so distinguish carefully between definite and indefinite integrals. A definite integral is a number, okay, whereas an indefinite integral is a function or family of functions. The connection between them is given by the evaluation theorem. Okay, so this is a for definite integral. So definite integral means, see, this diagram represents the definite integral. Definite integral is for particular range. Okay, range is given, so for a particular value, and that's why we are getting definite integral as a number. Okay, in definite integral we are getting a number, but in indefinite integral we are getting a function. It is like this. This first diagram represents the indefinite integral. So in indefinite integral we are getting a function, while in definite integral we are getting a number. Okay, so let's start. Now the very first thing is find all possible functions fx whose derivative is f of x. Okay, so my question is what? Once again I am repeating my question. My question is, you have to find the fx. Fx means you have to find the function whose derivative is this. Okay, So basically here f dash x is given, right? F dash x means small fx and that is equal to 2x plus 1. Here derivative is given and I am interested in finding the f of x. Okay. Now you know that 2x is a derivative of x square, right? Then 1 is a derivative of x, right? 2x is a derivative of x square and 1 is a derivative of x. So here f of x is equal to x square plus x, right? Clear? Once again I am repeating this, just concentrate. Here function is given, derivative is given and we have to find the original function. Now we know that derivative of x square is 2x, right? And derivative of x is 1. So if derivative is 2x, that means original function f of x will be x square, right? Function of 2x. Okay, 2x is a derivative and hence the function is x square plus function derivative is 1 and hence function of 1 is x. So function is x square plus x. Okay. Now see here, once again f of x is given. F of x is x square plus x plus 5, right? This is possible, right? One answer is f of x will be x square plus x, right? This is the one answer. Now if I say that f of x is x square plus x plus 5, then also my answer is right, right? Because if f of x is x square plus x plus 5, okay, then derivative of this means f dash x will be again derivative of x square is 2x and derivative of x is 1. Derivative of 5 0, right? So again I am getting 2x plus 1. Okay. So for this 2x plus 1, for this derivative, first I am having this function x square plus x. I am also having function x square plus x plus 5. I am also having function x square plus x minus 1000. I am also having the function x square plus x plus 1 upon 8. I am also having the function x square plus x minus pi, right? So basically what I am trying to say is that you can add any constant value, right? The basic function will be x square plus x, right? In that you can add any constant value. Since we know that derivative of constant is 0 and that's why we are getting derivative as only 2x plus 1 for all these functions. Okay, but all the functions are totally different. First function is x square plus x plus 5. Last function is x square plus x minus pi, right? So what we are getting? We are getting derivative as 2x plus 1, right? So when we integrate this function, integral is an antiderivative. Integration is a procedure of removing derivative. So when we integrate this derivative, then we get only this term x square plus x. Okay, we don't get any constant value. Why? Because derivative of constant is 0 and hence we are not able to find any constant by integrating this derivative. Okay, so when we remove derivative, then we get only function. Okay, and hence to balance this, we always write x square plus x plus c. Okay, c means constant. C can be anything. Okay, c can be 5, c can be 1000, c can be 1 upon 8, c can be minus pi, c can be anything, any constant value. Okay, so just remember, whenever you integrate, you have to write this c. Okay, so see, find a function with the given derivative. So derivative is given as 2x. So function will be, we know that derivative of x square is 2x. Okay, so if the derivative is 2x, then function is x square. Okay, then derivative is 3x square. So function will be x cube, right? If derivative is 3x square, then function is x cube, because derivative of x cube is 3x square. Now derivative is minus 1 upon x square. So function is 1 upon x, right? So derivative of 1 upon x is minus 1 upon x square. Okay, so exactly this we are going to do in integration formula. As you can see here, what I am getting here? Derivative of x. Derivative of x is 1, and hence integral of 1 dx will be x plus c. Okay, then derivative of x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1. Okay, so 1 upon n plus 1 is a constant, so this remain as it is, right? Then derivative of x raised to n plus 1, so that will be, see, derivative of x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1. Okay, so 1 upon n plus 1 is a constant term, so it come outside the derivative, and we have to differentiate this term x raised to n plus 1. So that will be 1 upon n plus 1 into, here use the formula, so it will be n plus 1 into s raised to n plus 1 minus 1. So this will be cancelled, n plus 1 cancel. So I will get derivative as x raised to n. Okay, so derivative of x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 is only x raised to n, and hence integral of x raised to n is x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c. Okay, then next formula, we know that derivative of log x is 1 upon x, and hence integral of 1 upon x is log x plus c. Then derivative of sin x is cos x, and integral of cos x dx is sin x plus c. We know that derivative of minus cos x, okay, derivative of minus cos x, this will be derivative of minus cos x minus sin outside the derivative, and derivative of cos x, right? So that is equal to minus derivative of cos x is minus sin x, so that is equal to only sin x. Okay, and hence integral of sin x is minus cos x plus c. Okay, similarly we know that derivative of 10x is sec square x, and hence integral of sec square x dx is 10x plus c. We know that derivative of minus cot x is cosec square x, okay, and hence cosec square x dx is minus cot x plus c. Then derivative of sec x, we know that it is sec x into 10x, and hence integral of sec x into 10x is sec x plus c. Then we know that derivative of minus cot x, minus cosec x, that is equal to cosec x into cot x, and hence integral of cosec x into cot x, that will be minus cot x plus c. Okay, then we know that derivative of sin inverse x, that is equal to 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square, and hence integral of 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square dx is sine inverse x plus c. Okay, then derivative of cos inverse. Okay, derivative of cos inverse x. So derivative of cos inverse x, cos inverse x, we know that is equal to minus 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square. Now I take minus sign on left hand side, so it will be minus derivative of cos inverse x is equal to 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square. Okay, so that means derivative of minus cos inverse x is equal to 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square. Okay, hence integral of 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square dx, this is either equal to sine inverse x plus c or minus cos inverse x plus c. Okay, so 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square is either sine inverse x plus c or it is cos inverse x plus c. Then similarly, we know that derivative of tan inverse x is 1 upon 1 plus x square, and derivative of cot inverse x is minus 1 upon 1 plus x square. Hence, integral of 1 upon 1 plus x square dx is either equal to tan inverse x plus c or equal to minus cot inverse x plus c. Okay, then derivative of sec inverse x is 1 upon x into root of x square minus 1, and derivative of cosec inverse x is minus 1 upon x into under root of x square minus 1. Hence integral of 1 upon x into x square minus 1, that is equal to sec inverse x plus c, or that is equal to minus cosec inverse x plus c. Okay, now next is derivative of e raised to x. Derivative of e raised to x is e raised to x. Okay, hence integral of e raised to x dx is e raised to x plus c. Then we know that derivative of a raised to x upon log a is equal to a raised to x, and hence integral of a raised to x dx is a raised to x upon log a plus c. Okay, so here some more formula which you have to remember. This is very important formula. Formula is, we know that integral of sec square x dx is tan x plus c, and integral of cosec square x dx is minus cot x plus c. Okay, then we know that integral of 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square dx is sine inverse x plus c. Okay, and this is, if it is minus, then it is equal to cos inverse x plus c. Then integral of 1 upon x square dx, that is equal to tan inverse x plus c, right? And if it is minus, then it is equal to cot inverse x plus c. Then integral of 1 upon x under root of x square minus 1 dx, that is equal to sec inverse x plus c. If it is minus, then it is equal to cosec inverse x plus c. Okay, now from this we are having this formula. So integral of dx upon under root of a square minus x square is sine inverse x upon a plus c. Okay, and if it is dx upon under root of x square minus a square, then it will be log mod of x plus under root of x square minus a square plus c. If it is dx upon integral of dx upon under root of x square plus a square, then it will be log mod of x plus under root of x square plus a square plus c. Okay. So similarly, as you can see, there are all this formula which you have to remember. So you have to learn all this formula. So for integration you are going to use this formula. So you have to learn all this, then only we can able to solve the integration. So with this I am concluding this video. Thank you students.